We are starting the jazz portion of tonight's concert. So this is the 9th grade jazz band. They're here bright and early at 7:30-ish for some of them, 7:30 in the morning. And it's been a great year of how much we've been doing and growing. They've been an awesome group. That first song is a song called Fresh Cut Fries. Titles are part of it all. And that featured Elijah on trombone and Riley on Barry sax. So good job on those first solos. Okay, our next number is going to be kind of a little more of a funk style, a little Philly funk style called American Standard. And this piece is going to feature solos by Casper on alto, Daytona on soprano, I don't remember which one's which, and Joe on tenor, Carolyn on tenor, and then we might have a little surprise preview guest for a solo after them for something that's to come later. So here is a nice little funk chart, American Standard. two groups here in a little bit, being a featured artist on some charts, but he wanted to solo with these guys. He's been here in the mornings, helping them out, giving feedback, playing along. It's been awesome. So he just wanted to jam with them a little bit. Can't blame him. All right, our next song we'd like to do is Van Morrison chart. Some of you might recognize Moon Dance. We'll have 4 soloists on this. Up first will be Becca on trombone. Second will be Noah on trumpet. Third, Charlotte on trombone. And we'll finish with Casper on alto sax. So here's a little Van Morrison. right, we got one more chart to do with this group, and then we'll bring out the Blue Jazz Band. I do want to highlight how cool it is that you're hearing all these solos, this improv, this making up of solos on the spot in front of all y'all, and that's cool for them to get up here and do that, and the braveness, and they just don't know any better. They just do it, and they're awesome at it. So. I'd like to close this part of the concert with the Charles Mingus chart. There's going to be another one later with the Silver Band, and I'll talk a little more about him in that piece. Charles Mingus really exemplified how jazz really tells the story of American history and things that were happening. This next chart, Nostalgia in Times Square, was actually part of the soundtrack of a movie called Shadows. I'm sure you all saw it, 1958. It's set about race relations in New York City during the Beat generation. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. But that was kind of at the end of the 50s going on there. And it was a very progressive movie and talking about things that were happening that a lot of people were afraid of. Charles Mingus was not afraid to just put his foot right in there and talk about these things. But Nostalgia in Times Square is from that movie, so if you watch it sometime, you'll hear it in the background and go, hey, I've heard that song before. This is going to feature Joe on tenor, Leah on trumpet, and then Carolyn on flute. You heard a little bit of it on Moondance, but now you get a solo with it. So here's our last number, Nostalgia in Times Square.